All right, what's up? So in this video, what I'm gonna do, this is kind of gonna be like a part two. I'm gonna show you how to identify what a high ticket business looks like on Instagram. So if you're doing outreach, you're messaging people, you're trying to do this on your own, you're gonna know exactly what they look like, who's a good person to message, who isn't, that kind of thing. Now, there's a ton of different things that you can look for when you're on Instagram looking at these different businesses. But to keep it simple, there's really only three main things that you need to look for. One is that they have a solid personal brand. They have a solid like social media presence, which I'm going to show you what that looks like. Two, they're selling something expensive. They're selling something high ticket, obviously. This is high ticket sales. You're trying to get a remote sales job. So you want to make sure they're selling something high ticket, which is going to be any expensive digital product or service. And then three, and this one's very important, you want to know that they have a consistent call volume. Like they have inbound leads coming in that are scheduling calls and they have consistent calls scheduled. Now, you can tell this a little bit up front by looking at their profiles. You can't see all the picture, but I'm going to show you how to figure out just enough so that you know what you're doing, and that'll be enough. And just to add more on that, whenever you go on an interview, there's questions that you can ask to find out for sure if they have consistent call volume, but we're not going to talk about that in this video. I've made other videos about that. This is just going to be showing you how to identify these businesses, what they look like, so that you know exactly what they look like and exactly what to do. Okay, so before I go into this first example, why am I making this video and multiple videos specifically around Instagram? Because it's just a good place to find these businesses. It's very easy to see that they're a legit business. It's very easy to send them a message. Now, there's other ways you want to do outreach. You want to do Facebook groups. You want to send out applications to job postings. But Instagram is a great place where you can do a lot of outreach, like you can do a lot of numbers. So I've had lots of people get jobs just through sending people messages on Instagram. So you definitely want to be doing it. Now, this first one, let's go over the three things I talked about. The first one, you want to see that they have a solid personal brand. He's got 43,000 followers. And to note on that, and I talked about this in the other video, I wouldn't get too hung up on the follower count because I've seen people with like millions and millions of followers who make no fucking money. And I've seen people with like 500 followers who are doing like 50K a month. So you don't want to get hung up on that. What people do is they come into my program and I'll show them how to do outreach, and then they won't message people if they don't have a lot of followers, and that's a mistake. So you don't want to get too hung up on the number, but it is something that you can look at easily. He's got 43,000 followers. The next thing we're going to look at is the bio, and this is the main thing that you want to look at first. Obviously, he's selling something. Break your business with too many leads, blah, blah, blah. These are his qualifications, whatever. And he has a link in his bio. 9 times out of 10, if there's a link in the bio, they're obviously selling something. When you click on this link, it's going to take you to this page. Now, this website, WAP, is just a place where online businesses host their products. So it makes it very easy to host all your products in one place. So when you click on that link, it takes you to his product, which he is obviously doing some kind of scaling. Systems to scale your business to 100K plus a month in revenue. So what that means is he's probably not working with beginners, right? He's working with people who are already making money and trying to take them, scale them up to 100K a month. So business owners will pay him to help them get over 100K a month in revenue. Now, what does that cost? $500 a month. That seems kind of cheap, right? That doesn't seem like, remember number two, you want them to be selling something expensive. That doesn't seem very expensive, but right beneath it, there's a $10,000 setup fee. Okay, so that's extremely high ticket. If you make one sale, you make one sale on this product, you're getting $1,000 because commission standard is 10%. So for a 10K setup fee, and then they're paying $500 every month to be a part of this community, you're going to make $1,000 for every one of these sales that you make. So you can see that this is definitely a high ticket product, right? So you've come over to his link, and important thing to note, whenever you do click on their link and it takes you to like their sales page or their product page, just read through this stuff. Like look at what they're selling. You don't have to like analyze the shit out of it, but just take a look at it, see, okay, what are they selling? Is there a price on here? If there's not, just kind of look at the product And if it's any kind of digital product or service, it's probably going to be high ticket. So just kind of think through it with that thought process. And then the third thing we want to check for with this guy is, does he have a consistent inbound call volume? Like I said before, you can't like completely verify this just by looking at someone's profile, but what you can do is look at the engagement of their profile. So if I go and I click on his reels, I see that they get plays, he's getting likes, he's getting comments. That's engagement. If people are engaging with his profile, that means they're probably giving him money. That is the connection that you will make. So if you see good engagement, that means people are probably going and scheduling calls because he's always selling to his audience. So people are going to schedule calls. He's going to have a consistent inbound call volume. And back to the followers thing, this is also why I don't really go off followers. I will just kind of look at the engagement. Now, does this tell you everything? Does this tell you a complete picture? Of course not. You still need to send the message, but this will show you what good businesses look like so that you know that when you're reaching out to a good business, this is someone legitimate that I want to sell for. All right, second example. So this guy has less followers, but I would say this is like the sweet spot. When they're around like 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 followers, 20K or under, that's a really good sweet spot because they're like still growing. So it's less likely that he has a team of like really good salespeople in place. He's at the point of the business where he's probably looking for good salespeople. That's just what I have seen. Again, follower count doesn't tell you everything, but this would be like a perfect profile. He doesn't have a ton of followers. He's got a link. You can tell in his bio. He tells you what he's doing. He says making people disgusting amounts of money on the internet. Divine resells his other profile, Resell University. So obviously he's doing reselling. And when you click on his link, it'll take you over to this. And then when you click on this, join our premium reselling community, it's going to take you again to a WAP page where he's hosting his product. Now this one is just $70 a month. So as you can see, there's no, well, before I go into pricing, let's look at what his product is. What he's doing is he's just showing people how to make money with reselling. So like reselling stuff probably on eBay, other platforms like that. So he's helping people make money by reselling products on the internet. And there's lots of these, and people do really well with these. A lot of people buy these. So he definitely has salespeople. But back to the price, it's only $70 a month. So you're like, I don't see any setup fee. There doesn't seem to be anything expensive here. However, when you join this community, if you decide to sign up and you're paying like $70 a month, once you get in there, he's going to upsell you something more expensive. So this is another way that they will do it. You'll get into the community. He's going to give you all this information, all this help, and then he'll be like, hey, all you guys in the community, by the way, I have a $5,000, $10,000 mentorship where I'll like work with you directly, something like that. And then people will get upsold and they will buy that. So that's the high ticket thing. It's just an upsell once you get into the group. And the cool thing about this stuff is once people give you like a low amount of money, like if they've bought like a cheap product from you, they're like 10 times more likely to buy something expensive from you because they've already like shown that they trust you and that they're going to buy from you. So that's why they do it like this. They'll give you access to the community and help you get started and then be like, hey, if you want more help, I have this high ticket product where I'll work with you directly. That's probably how this works. So when you come and you see that it's only $70 a month, that doesn't mean anything. He is clearly selling some kind of coaching program, which is very expensive, and he's going to upsell you that once you get in the community. So point is, when you see these low numbers, don't think, oh, I don't want to sell it for this person, I'm not going to message them. Wrong. That's a mistake. They're selling you something more expensive. They're just not doing it up front in your face. Now let's come back and look at the third thing, his engagement. Since he has less followers, that may not be the case. But yeah, he's still getting good numbers. So some good engagement. As long as people, it doesn't have to be like massive. Are people engaging with his profile? That's all I need to see, right? So again, these are not things you want to get hung up on and analyze the shit out of. You just want to gloss over all this very quickly because when you're doing outreach, you want to do this in numbers. So you want to be able to just get the hang of this quickly, look at these different points that I'm showing you, and then just quickly do the outreach. So don't get like too hung up on this stuff. I'm just giving you all the information so that you're like fully educated. Now, third example, this is like a picture perfect profile of a high ticket business. He's got like a lot of followers. He's selling an Amazon FBA coaching program, which there are many of, and people are buying in droves. People buy these programs all the time. So look at his bio. He tells you exactly what he's doing. He's got his link in his bio. And then when you click on that link, in this example, he's not taking you to a product page where he's trying to sell you a community or something. He's going to get you to register for a webinar. And then when you go to that webinar, he's going to give you like a really long presentation, and then you're going to get sold on his coaching program, which is probably very expensive at the end of that webinar. So this is another good example. When you click on this link, it's going to take you to, or when you click on his link, it's going to take you to this register for my webinar. And then when you register for the webinar, the product will be in that. Now, anytime you see someone running a webinar, they're not selling something cheap. Like, no way. If there's a video sales letter on the page, like a long video on this page where they're giving you some kind of like 20, 30, 1 hour minute or 1 hour presentation, they're selling you something expensive. Same with the webinar. If they ask you to register for like a free live training, quote unquote, that's a webinar, they're selling you something expensive. And then with this guy, I didn't even really need to look, but he's got a ton of engagement because he's been doing this for so long. So the longer a business is around, the more engagement they're going to get, the bigger their account is going to get, the more money they're going to make. That's just how this works, as long as they're selling something legitimate, which Amazon programs are. So this is a good person to sell for, 100%. However, the bigger they get, the more likely that they're probably going to have salespeople in place. So you may or may not get a reply from this person ever, or you may get in touch with their setter. You never know. But salespeople turn over all the time, so you don't really know. You don't want to ever be like, oh, this person's too big or this person's too small. I just won't do it. Just do it. Like, do it anyway. The point of this video is not to tell you who to message and who to not message. It's to show you exactly what these businesses look like. Since you're deciding to do this on your own and not join a program, you need to know all this information. You need to know how to look at a business's social media and vet the business up front so that you don't get screwed and you don't end up in a sales job that sucks. You want to end up in a sales job where you can make a lot of money, and that is the point of me doing these examples, is to show you what these legitimate businesses look like. So don't get hung up on the followers. Don't get hung up on the engagement. Just make sure they're selling something expensive. Does it look like he probably has a consistent call volume? Cool. Send the message, right? That is basically the summary. All right, so to wrap it up, when you are getting on Instagram, I have this video, I have another video, and I'll probably make more videos like this with plenty of examples so that when you go to reach out to businesses on Instagram, you know exactly what they look like, you know exactly what to look for. In the future, I'll probably do videos like this around other platforms. Like, I'll go into Facebook groups and show you what scammy job postings look like and what legitimate job postings look like. So I will do those too. But on Instagram, understand that this is going to be a numbers game. You're going to need to send a lot of messages, and you're going to need to do it consistently every day. So set aside some time. It takes like 30 minutes a day, which is so easy to do. Knock out like 30 minutes of messages, forget about it, do it again the next day, do it every day, and just stay consistent. And on the note of not getting replies from a lot of people, just realize that when you're messaging all these people, every single one of these people that I'm showing you, and every single business that you come across that looks just like this, has salespeople who are killing it and making a lot of money. This guy is slaying it. This guy is making so much money on this coaching program, and I'm telling you that his salespeople are making a lot of money too. So you can get these roles. Like, they are out there. You just got to do a little legwork, and since you're doing it by yourself, you just need to stay consistent, and eventually you'll get a role. Like I said, in the future, I'll do more videos like this, and I'll do videos like this on other platforms. If you want my help getting a setter, closer role, schedule a call with me with the link in the description. Until next time.